Tonight on the show, I'm joined by two amazing Gen Zers. And to my far left, Sam Miele, he's the host of My Generation on the Newsroom. My pleasure. And Joshua Bell, former Liberal candidate for the Ontario Liberal Party in the last election, and you're a mental health advocate.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, guys. So, Gen Z, this one hurts a little bit because I want to talk about Student Vote Canada. You guys heard that before the election?
Yes.
The big thing across the country. Different election results for people who are not eligible to vote. Conservatives with a minority parliament, Liberals not too far behind, but they ain't winning. So I guess the question is, why are they leaving progressive parties? Sam.
You know, it's a tough one to answer. And we made this joke, like when Harper was in office, how old were you?
I was like 3.
Yeah, okay. And I wanted like 10 years old. I mean, 8, 10 years old. So I can't really say, why exactly, because I haven't even seen like a conservative government, but I would just say it's about the change. They just want to see something different, I would say. And also Gen Z feels like, okay, 10 years of one government, or 11 years of one government is maybe a little bit too much.
Josh?
I agree with the change in that, but I also think it's the targeting that. The Conservatives do a really good job at targeting their voters and targeting younger voters, especially through more modern means of communication like social media and things like that. So I think that's having a lot of sway on some of the voters.
We'll also look at too, you could say Trump's PR strategy on social media can sometimes be quite humorous, which can draw in some young people. It can be very questionable. But I think, you see like Charlie Kirk, going around to different campuses, engaging with young people. It's funny, in Canada, I see a lot of young liberal, what's the word? I see a lot of young liberals doing stuff, making decisions, like running. Yep. But then I don't really see that from the Conservatives too much. I just see more like social media from them on the state side, but I think that bleeds into Canada.
So but you have seen a Conservative government. We live in Ontario. It changed in 2018. We've had how many, I'm not a math guy. 7 years of one provincial government. So you've kind of seen what it's like. And it just seems to me like if you've lived in Ontario, you kind of see what it is.
Is the Ontario government, just from what I've heard, considered conservative?
It depends who you're talking to.
Well, exactly. That's my point.
My joke is that Dalton McGuinty was more conservative than John Ford. But no, okay. So then my next point was this change, or was it change for change's sake? Because you said something to me a long time ago, and it always stays up here, is I only know one federal government. So is this, we just want to change it because it's all we know, we want to see something different? Or no, there are some bad things going on and we got to change it?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I think it's change. I would argue it's definitely change. We just don't know who's going to fix it, which is why I think you kind of saw different party leaders get a different amount of votes with different demographics, like boomers voting maybe more this way, or Gen Z's voting more this way. We don't really know how to fix it as Gen Z. We haven't seen the different governments. The funny part is I don't think either government will maybe fix all of our problems. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
It's going to take a collaboration of governments to kind of work together in that, whether it be conservative ones or liberal ones in that, or term over term, to fix things, fix the housing crisis, and fix other stuff in that too. But this was an election that was an election for change, I think, and people in Canada, albeit under the influence of Trump's tariffs, voted for that change still with Mark Carney and our Liberal government still.
Okay, and I mean, we hit the social media thing. And I think that convention, I don't think anybody under the age of probably 30 watches conventional media anymore, right? I still watch At Issue, but I grew up with that stuff. So like for me, it's like, what's ABC saying?
You're also an old soul.
And I am old. Yeah, I just turned 35. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, but I mean, like, that targeting. Now, is that like fair targeting to young people? Like, because I find a lot of the social media is very conservative.
Okay, so you do find that. It's not just my feed. Because I was wondering.
No, it's my feed.
I was wondering that too. And I say this again, Charlie Kirk as an example. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of like conservative influencers our age that influence.
And this goes back to what I just kind of said too, in that overflow from the US and what we're seeing with Trump and his social media tactics and that. We've seen the Conservative Party in Canada kind of uptake the similar type of strategy to push some of those social media ads to try to find those conservative influencers and that, and really spend that ad money to get them out there.
Yeah. But I also think Conservatives have a lot of ammunition right now, because when you're always the opposition party, you can complain about everything and you look like kind of the good guy. So I also think that gives them a lot of ammo. Now, obviously, we still see the Liberal government in power after 10 years, but I just think that also contributes towards Gen Z maybe leaning more towards that conservative government. But I wouldn't say that Gen Z
Well, people
leans
were
one way or
against
not.
the status quo, and at the time, the status quo was the Liberal government in that. But people were also against the former Prime Minister Trudeau. There was so much hate in the air.
So we're going to
against the former
continue
Prime
on this because
Minister.
the next segment's going to be about issues. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top issues for Gen Z voters in the last election and whether or not that swayed them to go to either party.